we also learned that there is another important aspect that we need to keep in mind a lot, which is whatever decision and product we build, is it making good business, right?
We're down here on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange for International Day, speaking to all sorts of leaders from around the world on how to fuel future growth. I'm pleased now to be joined by one of the key attendees and, of course, a leader in his own right. He's the co-founder and CEO of Aspire, Andrea Baronchelli. Andrea, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Great to have you here at the Stock Exchange today. And how are you finding International Day so far?
It's a very exciting day. Great to meet other international entrepreneurs, founders, investors, to learn from each other, right, in this global building journey, especially in this very interesting and exciting location.
Yeah, it is an incredible location and a great backdrop for this particular event. I want to learn more about your company, Aspire, and the core competitive advantage that it has that allows you to win locally and perceive your goals globally.
So for us, it's very important to build across two different, different set of, let's say, building models. So the first is banking, which is, imagine financial services has been around forever. It's typically a very local, default local industry. And the second piece is ERP software, right? This is much more recent. Has been around since the software has been built, some decades ago. And our competitive advantage is on putting these two very different cores together and offer them to our client base, which are international, digital businesses with a lot of global nexus, and allow them to manage back office finance workflows end to end, right? And nowadays AI is a very important component of building a workflow and user journeys, and we plug it right in, right? So that we can save a lot of money and time and simplify processes for our clients.
Of course, you built your business on a thesis of combining a multi-currency business banking platform with a business ERP for what it calls an all-in-one financial OS. How has that thesis panned out?
It's going very well for us. And again, playing at the intersection, right, of these two different industries create a very unique competitive advantage and value proposition. We've been, very, lucky to have more than 50,000, international companies using us every day to run their finances. We have seen, a lot of growth in some of our newer jurisdictions, right? Growing even more than 3 times year over year. And so we believe that this is one of the most exciting things happening in B2B finance, and we're very excited to continue to build in this space.
Yeah, I want to hone in on profitability. How has building a global business from Asia shaped Aspire's approach to the path to profitability?
So it's a very interesting question, and for us is a very important question as well. We try to put together usually the main angle of building a startup, which is around follow your clients, build what clients love, right? So that they're gonna use you more, recommend it to their communities, right? And so this is very important for us. We build the company with that angle. But also, given that we started in Asia, and in Asia, not every client is willing to pay for services. We also learned that there is another important aspect that we need to keep in mind a lot, which is whatever decision and product we build, is it making good business, right? And this is something that you hear much less in the circles of startups, for example, in the United States. And for us, it's been very important to put these two together to create both value for the clients, but also a good business model that creates profitability, makes the company sustainable and growing sustainably.
Yeah, and what is your strategy for deepening your presence in existing markets, of course, while pursuing global growth opportunities too?
Yes, so it's very important for us to think about it in terms of first of all, a portfolio. So we have jurisdictions and markets where we already are established, and then there are markets that are starting off or maturing. And for us, the first principle is we need to take this in a path and manage them in parallel, right? We cannot manage new market in sequence because we are in a regulated business. It will take too long to build an international business. And so that's the first principle that we typically use. The second principle is about planning thoroughly and have patience, right? We are in fintech, we have stages to develop a product that we cannot really shorten too much. So we have a time to get a new license. We have time to integrate with financial infrastructure. We have time to build compliance programs. And so it's important to plan well and follow through. And the third thing for us is about finding a way to combine scalability, right? That we build across apps and create value from new markets to the existing client base that we have. And that's what we do.
How do you approach resource allocation and risk management when it comes to building your business?
So it's a very good question, especially true for a startup, right? That doesn't have unlimited resources. And so we think about it in terms of three main types of teams that do different things around the organization, each supporting each other. So the first is some teams that are supporting the core services for the company. These are teams that serve the rest of the businesses, and it's around typically legal services, for example, technology services. The second part is existing business units, right? These are the existing businesses that make money. These are the one paying the bills for everybody else, and the third one is bets. These are very new, either geographies or products. Or segments that we want to develop in the future. They're very small. These are small teams that create a lot of novelty and innovation. And we allocate resources 1/3 each, and we try to balance, right, across these resources and teams.
What do you see as the next stage of growth for Aspire?
So for us, it's about two things. One is additional ERP modules that are going to be plugged on top of our infrastructure. And they create a lot of, again, end-to-end workflows, simplify the lives of finance teams and CFOs, treasurers, accountants. And the second thing is more geographies, so that we build and connect more international apps into our proposition, so that we can cater and serve better our international global client base.
Mm-hmm. Any takeaways that you'd like to leave International Day with here at the New York Stock Exchange?
For me, it's been very humbling to connect with individuals that are building businesses all over the world and still gather here, right, in this very iconic kind of pinnacle of business, right, globally, to exchange thoughts. And so thanks so much for having us as well.
Thank you so much for joining us here on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange.
Thanks a lot.